Our loving Heavenly Father, we pray for you this day. We're thankful for a new building and a new year to study engineering. We pray that might help us to pay attention and to deal with the new stresses that we face in our lives. We say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
All right. So, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Sandy Lau. I am the president this fall, so you'll be lucky enough to hear from me occasionally. So, just as some announcements, we're changing the way we do announcements a little bit. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But at the beginning of seminar, we're going to have these few slides up. We'll have an announcement slide. And you'll be sent those announcements too throughout, you'll get them twice a week, on Thursdays and Mondays, with a list of all the upcoming activities and service things. So you don't have to look through them in your email and be like, when was that one service activity? So that'll help. We're also going to be including networking tips and career prep tips. So I don't know if you guys saw the email that we sent out in the summer, but if you haven't done your resume yet, go ahead and update it because the career fair is coming up soon. It's in 2 weeks. So people are already starting to look for internships for next summer. So get your resumes updated, get things worked on. We'll talk about it a little bit more, but that is a little intro of what we're going to be doing normally. So, all right. Welcome to seminar, everyone. Who's excited to be back? I'm hearing lackluster responses. Oh, these are my favorite people, and you guys are excited to be here. I'm so upset. Oh, wow. All right, so I want to talk kind of about seminar and why we have seminar, what's the purpose of seminar. So, us as officers, as we plan seminar, these are where we're focusing on. We're focusing on getting you service, having you have networking opportunities, having you get technical exposure and experience, and then also leadership opportunities as well. And so we're going to do this in a variety of different ways. And so, and the reasons we do these is because we all know how engineering feels like. So if you haven't seen this video, you're in for a treat. Okay, I will dim the lights if I can figure it out. Oh, one more. You guys are ready for a full-on movie? Alright, guys, so this video shows you what happens when you don't become involved, okay?
You all of you beneath me. My God, you dark creature. I'm not putting one.
Alright, so our goal is to make sure you're not unemployed by the end of this, and ASCE is here to help you with that, and also help make all those snacks and things a little bit less painful, because you have friends and stuff. So friends are great, they commiserate with you, so yeah. Oh, is there a fifth here? Is that what I heard? It's just like an extra pound on the ground. Just say that a little bit longer. So that's what we are here for seminar, and that's why we're having activities, and we do all these things, why it's structured this way. So we have seminars so you can apply your class knowledge with different activities. You can gain experience with some of the service activities, other activities we have, some of the teams that we have with Rocky Mountain Conference, which we'll talk about in a bit. To make friends. I don't know about you guys, but some of my best friends I've made in college are right here in this room. So it's a great way to make friends, to stay sane. I know for me that's been essential, getting involved. I'm like, I'll actually see how this applies. Statistics is important, I guess. And then help you get that dream job in the end, because our college has a 99% job placement rate when everyone graduates. So when you find a job, Yeah, you'll find a job when you graduate. Will you find a job that you like? That's up to you, depending on how much experience you get. And so, one thing we wanted to talk about as well is that while you are here in this major, you don't need a 4.0 to be an engineer. You honestly don't even need a 3.5 or a 3.0. Most companies require 3.0 when you like apply for things. But what? 2.5 is great too. Honestly, what companies look at, technical companies look for experience. And so with ASCE, it's a great way to get involved, starting as a freshman, a sophomore, wherever you're in the program. So we're going to talk about a lot of opportunities, how you guys can get involved, and really just, we want to help you know that, like, if you get a D in the class, like, you get 9 credits a D, that's okay. Like, you still can be an engineer and still be successful. So, don't kick yourselves because BYU, it's really easy to, I don't know, go in and get the BYU blues. You get your first C and you're just like, you can't do this. C's get degrees, guys. And so, we'll be okay. And if you're ever struggling with not feeling like you can do this major, talk to any of the officers. We've all been in your shoes. So, all right. So one of the big focuses I said we're doing is networking. And so we're going to give you lots of different opportunities, and that's a big focus of ours. And so like I was talking about at the beginning, something you guys should do these next few weeks is update your resume, update your Handshake profile, and your LinkedIn. So Handshake is the new BYU Bridge. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Career Services has a portal. And so Handshake is great because it's used by a lot of different colleges. And so even if you just log in into Handshake and it says just civil engineering, I got emails before I even updated it saying, hey, here's an internship you should apply for. And like companies look through it and it has a lot of opportunities. So Handshake is great. And LinkedIn, how many of you have a LinkedIn right now? How many of you have an updated LinkedIn? Okay, great, good. So a lot of you are on top of it. So LinkedIn is a great tool. So engineers sometimes I feel like it's like, oh, we don't really use social media. But I think like 80% of recruiters use LinkedIn to vet their candidates. And so just as an example, at the end of my summer internship, I saw someone post a post about the end of their internship. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that. That sounds cool. I've never done a post on LinkedIn. And so I was thinking I'll get like 12 likes from like a few of my friends or whatever. And so I'm getting a lot of likes from people I didn't know. Because whenever someone sees something or likes something on someone else's like page, it like shows on your post. So I had that many people see my post about being an intern at Union Pacific, which I had no idea was going to happen. And then like some of those comments were from high up people in the company saying like, you should come back, which I was shocked, blown away. It's really easy. LinkedIn is a great tool that really takes no time at all. So go ahead and update it. Just a little plug for LinkedIn. All right. So seminar requirements. So you are here because this is a grade and you're required to be here. But we're happy you're here, so we're going to make it fun. First off, Kim wanted me to announce and ask, make sure you are all registered for the correct seminar. Sometimes people forget to register for the seminar or register for the wrong seminar. So go in, make sure you're registered for the correct one because it really does affect you to graduate. So if you're in 200 level, you can see all the different requirements. I'll highlight a few. So for service and activity points are when you go to an activity, and service are related to service projects. So with those two types of point systems, you can use that for ASCE, or if you're involved with another civil engineering club, that is okay too. So if you go to an ITE social, like an Institute of Transportation Engineer socials, that counts as an activity point. If you go help EERI build their Balsawood Bridge for an hour, that counts as a service point. Does that make sense? No questions? Okay. So those are the difference between like activity and service points. 300, 400 students are required to register for National ASCE membership. That is free as a student. So that's no cost to you, but you need to go ahead and register it. We're updating the instructions on how to do that on the blog, and we'll send you out information about that. Also, on the 300 level, you can see that the 200 level no longer has the MyMap, but the 300 has a graduation plan. This is different than the MyMap. So if you might have met with Kim when you were 200 level and now you're in 300 and you're like, do I have to meet with Kim again? Yes, you do. So this is more to talk about technical electives. So for anyone that needs to meet with Kim, you can go onto the syllabus on Learning Suite and it will have her link on there of where she goes. You can go in and sign up for an appointment. So no longer are the days where you can just pop in and be like, kids, I meet with you. So go ahead and sign up online. If you didn't know, the engineering offices moved into the new building. Everyone cheer, give a cheer for the new building. So much better than Clyde. I think I'm very happy to spend time there. So go talk to Kim in 430 at the new engineering building. That's where all the professor's offices are now. If you have any other questions about what's required, you can contact one of the officers or one of the TAs that is specifically assigned to your seminar, which is in the office.
So just point out one difference that you might have not noticed is the national membership of the. So to get to that point, you need to become a member of ASCE. It's free to do that. But we used to only require seniors, now juniors also.
Yeah. So do that, and when you're loading or when you're registering to be a national member, we encourage you to become a local member as well. It's a $10 fee, but if you're a member of our local student chapter, you don't have to pay for all the activities. So whenever we have like a barbecue out front, there's like pizza or hot dogs or burgers or whatever, you don't have to pay the $4 in cash to get in. You're like covered, and it covers a year, so it really pays for itself. So I suggest just paying.
First
You want to deal with that? I'm going to pull up my computer. It's on my computer. Does anyone know any good jokes? Well, the seminar, make sure you go in to your Learning Suite and just double check that you have everything that you need to on there, that you know what's required of you. We're going to do our best to provide you with opportunities, and there's plenty of opportunities to get activities and service points ahead of time. So you shouldn't have to, don't wait till last minute. There's plenty of opportunities. Biggest struggle, remember your cadence account after summer. There we are. All right. Okay, so some of the things I was talking about, we're doing things a little bit different with announcements. So in the past, before a speaker speaks, we spend like 5 to 10 minutes on announcements being like, here's this activity, here's where you sign up, you should come. We'll talk about them, but it'll be on that rotating slide. So we're going to be sending out that newsletter, which is that email that just has all the activities every Monday and Thursday. So after seminar, you'll hear about them, and then you'll hopefully get an email later that day that says the different activities where you can sign up. And then on the Google Sheets, there'll be more information about them. So the blog, I wanted to show you the blog to just show you a little bit about, just kind of navigate it. We're changing it up a bit. But a new thing that we're doing, thanks to our publicist, Skylar, she's on top of it. If you go, if you go to the, oh, it's not showing to you guys, okay. All right, well, if you go to the blog, I'll just say that. If you go to the blog, on the top, there's tabs, and they say activities/field trips and service tab. You can click on those, and there will be a list of all the current stuff. So no longer are the days we have to scroll through the blog finding things. So, yay for Skylar. All right, and right now, I encourage you all to take out your phones and take a picture of this, because if you follow ASCE and the Civil Engineering Department on all of these social media platforms, you get 1 activity point. But you have to stay following them for the whole semester or all your life. So you can't just like, I follow them, then I follow. That's not the point. So if you guys all get on, you get 1 activity point. That's all the information you need. But, all right, everyone. Okay. So on our Facebook is a lot of places where we announce activities and announce changes. Also with our social media platforms, we'll just post different things. If you have anything you ever want to post, like a picture you took at something at a club event that one of us wasn't at, send it to us at our email, gyuasce@gmail.com, and we can get it posted. So we want to be great millennials that we are, and yeah. So if you do this, one activity point, okay? All right, so to go through some of the announcements that we were talking about a little bit earlier, the STEM Fair is coming up on the 26th and the 27th. We will be having a networking dinner before in the new event space in the engineering building. So that'll be fun, watch for that. We talked about the different memberships. Polos are coming out. They're gonna be like this, but in royal blue. So we will be sending out information about that. Some service opportunities, stadium cleanups are happening. So Shane's going to talk a little bit more about that when we talk about Rocky Mountain Conference. But you can go to help pay for your Rocky Mountain Conference fees, or you can go for service. So they're a great time. We're starting a STEM education program, which Chris will be talking a little bit more about as well. That starts on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. We're having Club Rush, which is outside the Clyde building, where all the different clubs go out and you talk to different people, you get ice cream, you talk to like every club. We'll need people to man that booth. You'll be seeing information about that. Next Friday, we're going to the Real Salt Lake training facility finally, so that's exciting. You should have been seeing emails come out about that. Sign up if you want to go. And if you have a van card, let us know. We need drivers. So other ASE activities. We're having our opening social on Wednesday the 12th at 6 p.m. We're going to be playing volleyball, spike ball, we're getting pizza. It's going to be a really chill time. It's in the quad outside the Clyde, so come have fun. ITE has their opening social as well. We're going to have a football away game watch party at some point, so stay tuned for that. I talked about the networking dinner, and then Concrete Canoe and Steelbridge are going to both give their little spiel, but they're starting their meetings. Concrete Canoe starts tonight, Steelbridge starts on Tuesday. So we'll be sending these all out. Yeah?
Are these also going to be on the website?
These will also be on the website, and they'll be sent out in that email as well. So if you're declared a civil engineering major, you should be getting the emails. So, yeah?
The full says for the app that shows the company says coming. Do you think that's what it is?
Yeah, it should be there or it's online, either way. One of the things we're going to talk about too, okay, so one of the things we wanted to talk about is when you sign up to come to an activity or to do service, especially service, we've had problems in the past where people are like, oh, I can go to this, and then life happens, homework gets busy and things like that, and so then people don't show up, which can look really bad on BYU and our club, depending on what we're doing. If we're said we're going to have 8 judges somewhere, and we have 8 people sign up and only like 4 show up, that really puts the activity and like us in a bind. So we're going to be locking the Google Docs a few hours, like a day or so before. It'll be on the Google Doc when we lock it. So if you can't come for some reason, try to find someone to replace you, or just send us an email. We know things happen. If you get sick, like that's okay. Just try to find a sub and let us know. You wanted to add to that, Braxton?
Real quick, a lot of people like to come to a meeting 2 weeks before the semester ends and say, I have 3 service points, and this semester I'm going to look at you and say, that sucks. So sign up early, get your service points done. We've got finals and stuff too in the last 2 weeks, so, you know, it's just wonderful to build at your house.
And I know people... and I know people think in the past we've done like a fan can food drive. They're like, hey, if you bring so many cans, you get a service point. That only counts for 1. So you can save, it's like if you have 1 left, but don't try to have all 3 of your service points be like a can food drive because you only get 1. So this is a heads up. Another thing that we're doing, so the STEM Fair, you can volunteer at the STEM Fair. We're going to be sending out the link for that. It's through the college, and if you say you go volunteer for it, you get service points for ASCE. You get a free lunch, a pizza lunch. If you volunteer in the morning, you can go back and get pizza. And it's a great way to talk to recruiters on a one-to-one basis when you're not waiting in line. Like I've volunteered before, and I was able to drive vans for them. And when I was driving vans, I was able to talk to recruiters who invited me to their intro sessions. I got an interview out of it. Like that's like not guaranteed, but it's a great way to talk to recruiters one-on-one. And when you go and volunteer, make sure you say you're volunteering with ASCE. That's how we get our funding. So any of you in Concrete Key or Steel Bridge, if you want funding, go volunteer. So, all right, and then Chris is going to talk a little bit about our STEM after-school program.
So this semester we're going to be teaching a class at the South Franklin Community Center for higher end elementary kids and middle school kids, just to get them excited about science and engineering. So the class will be twice a month on Wednesdays at 3:30. And this is a really good opportunity for us to serve in the community. A lot of the families that live in that area are in difficult situations financially or whatever it may be. And so it's a good opportunity to give the kids something good and exciting to do after school. It's going to be awesome. We'll do different activities like building bridges, or there's a whole bunch of activities, and I have a couple books. So if you'd like to sign up to help, we'd love your help. We need about 3 people each class. Because in order to have only one adult there, you have to go through background check and stuff, so we need to have multiple people. And then if you want to do a leadership point for the seniors, and you want to be in charge of one of the classes, you can sign up to do that, and then you'll work with me to plan the activity and make sure we have enough people there. And you'll go there and then write a small report about it. But we really want to push this. This is a really good opportunity for us to get involved. I know a lot of people want to do leadership points and service points for some of maybe the easier things, but this is a really good opportunity where you can do some meaningful service for people that are in need. And so we'd ask you to sign up for this one first if you can. And if you have any questions, you can email byuasc@gmail.com, or you can ask me directly.
So, all right. So, one of the main things we do here in ASCE is our Rocky Mountain Conference. This is a picture of our last one that we went to in South Dakota. Usually it's not as cold and snowy, but it's beginning of April, and teams and other students work really hard all year to get ready for it. And so, to tell us a little bit more about it, we're going to have our RMC chair, Shane, explain a little bit more of what RMC is about.
Alright guys, so I am the RMC chair this year. For those who don't know what RMC is, it's a conference that we attend every April where we compete with other schools around the area, so all schools in Utah, Colorado, South Dakota, New Mexico. And it's a great way to get a lot of hands-on experience with a lot of different types of engineering and a lot of things that you won't see in the classroom. And the kind of the big reason why I'm talking about this now is the big clubs, or the big competitions are going to start their meetings pretty soon. As you mentioned before, Steel Bridge and Concrete are starting this week and next week. But I also wanted to talk a little bit more about the other competitions that you can be a part of. So there is the pre-design competition. Every year they release a prompt related to typically water, and you have to design a way to distribute water in a certain way. If you want more details on that, you can talk to me or talk to Max Barnes. It's Max right there. There's also the mystery design competition where you just show up, they give you a design prompt, and you have about 2 to 3 hours to solve the problem. And there's also these papers. So these are really important, these technical and neat papers. If we don't compete in these categories, we can't qualify for the national events. So if you do have a technical paper or you're interested in writing a neat paper, the prompt this year is about, you can look online for more about the information on the prompt, but if you submit a paper, you'll have a chance to go to RMC for free. So look into that, we'll have more details later. Yeah, so those are most of the competitions that are there. If you're interested, again, talk to me or you can email this email right there. So another reason why I'm talking about this now is there's a way to pay. Rocky Mountain Conference does cost money. The registration fee is about $70 to $80, and that will be something that everyone has to pay for. But because this year we're going to Denver area as opposed to South Dakota, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive than it was last year. So if you attend 3 stadium cleanups, that will cover your travel and hotel fees. And that's kind of the breakdown of how much it would cost depending on how many stadium cleanups you go. So I really encourage you, if you're planning to go to RMC, to attend some of these stadium cleanups. It really helps us out with funding, and it helps you to make it to RMC. Last but not least, in 2021, we are going to be hosting the Rocky Mountain Conference. So it's going to take a lot of planning and effort, and the reason why we're talking about this now is if you want to be involved, you have to know what you're doing in 2021, and so a good way to do that is to start getting involved now. And so by 2021, you'll be the expert, you'll be the pro, you can teach us all how to do this. So, is there any questions about our Rocky Mountain Conference? I should mention that we do really well at the Rocky Mountain Conference. Steelbridge has won 4 times out of the last 7 years. And so we've gone to the national event those 4 or 5 times. And Concrete Canoe, we also won first in overall design last year, overall display. And we also made it to the national event there. So there's a lot of opportunities to do a lot of really cool things at the national event. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I'm going to turn the time over to Steelbridge and then Concrete Canoe, and they're going to talk about their respective clubs.
Thank you, Jay.
How are we all doing?
Good.
Stuff. Yeah, my name is Zach. This is Austin. We are some of the captains on the Steelbridge team, along with Shane. We have 3 captain solos here. We had a really fun, successful year last year. For those of you who don't know exactly what Steelbridge is, we are a club dedicated to designing, building, and designing, fabricating, and speed building a steel bridge, small scale model. This year it's going to be a 25-foot by 3-4 some odd feet. And it's really cool. So we've got a couple things here to show you guys. This is us last year at RMC. We actually took first overall. It's kind of fun. We got we have our time lapse here of our build. But basically, if you don't have any experience with building or designing or anything, we want you to come join us, because exactly 1 year ago, I had no idea what I was doing. I decided to come. I met Shane at the ASC opening barbecue, and Austin was pretty much the same, right? Just came, we saw, and we liked what we saw, so we started getting involved, and it is a really fun club. We're a team, we're a family, we grow together, and we'll learn a lot of awesome skills. Anything from using programs for structural analysis to learning how to weld, how to cut metal and assemble that. There's so many things that you can get involved with in Steelbridge and maybe get a little taste of structural engineering, so yeah.
So yeah, now is a great time to get involved, being the beginning of a new school year. We're going to be starting the design process this Tuesday, going through optimization, then eventually fabricating through end of this semester and next semester. We are going to have our first meeting on Tuesday at 7 o'clock, and we'll be meeting every Tuesday and Wednesday. So yeah, we just want to invite you guys to show up and see what it's about, and hopefully join our team.
Yeah, if any one of us have questions, feel free to ask and talk to us. It's super fun. We really want to see you there. So. We will have these at our first meeting, FYI.
Yeah, bro!
No, please, thank you. Hi, my name's Rob, this is Melissa. We're the head captains for Concrete Canoe. Thank you. Just a fun fact about me, despite what I may look like, I do obey the honor code.
Good handoff there. All right, so Rob and I are the head captains, project manager, and then we have a whole bunch of other captains to help us out, because there's a lot going on here. So we have James, he's our compliance officer. He makes sure we follow the rules. There's Nick, with the long, luscious locks.
If you've seen him, you know.
And he's doing aesthetics. He's making everything beautiful. And then Hannah is our mixed design captain. We are so excited to have her on our team. There's Evan. He's doing whole design. Mitch is doing construction, and then we need more captains. So that could be you. We need a paddling captain. So if you want to be involved in leadership, come see us tonight and talk to us.
That's right. So what is Concrete Canoe? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. We build a canoe out of concrete. And it floats, and we race it against other schools. This is the canoe that we made this year. It's called the Phoenix. It was super pretty, and it was beautiful, and we loved it, and it raced really well, and we had a lot of fun. This is the inside of the canoe. It took a lot of really cool engineering principles to make it work. As some of you may know, concrete normally doesn't float. Surprise, right? But we engineer it so that it does, and the tricky part is we need to get the unit weight down low enough, but also keep it strong enough so that it can withstand the forces in the water while you're racing and while it's being transported. And I just think it's you learn a lot even before you take any of these classes, and it's a really good stepping stone in the future.
Alright, so why should you come to Concrete Canoe? We have a lot of fun. It's also a great resume builder, and if you're in you have to take math classes. If you're bored of math, come see us, see what engineering is all about. So it's a resume builder, we have fun, we're awesome. We get great photos of Dr. Borup. So we have a lot of fun. We're basically a family. You should come have fun with us.
So it's not a cement canoe, first of all, but come join us tonight, 234 Clyde Building. We're going to be in there tonight, trying to get more leadership, more people there. We have a lot of fun, and contact us if you have any questions. We're also going to be meeting every Thursday night, probably not in 234, but in the Structures Lab after this, to do mixing and designing and stuff like that. We love all of you guys to be there. We have a lot of fun. And maybe, just maybe, you might get a beard card, but that's no promises there.
All right, give it up one more time for all of our RMC people. This is a great resume builder. If you are taking the 100 level classes, come. If you're taking the 300 level classes, come. If you're going to graduate even in December, come. We can use you. So we can use everyone. Please come. Please get involved. There's lots of stuff to do with ASCE and getting involved. And then a new opportunity, new way to get involved is also through study abroad. So Dr. Borup's going to talk to us about that.
Every once in a while in seminar, we'll just have some announcements about, department kinds of things and curriculum and all those kinds of things. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that. We have a study abroad there's several study abroad programs in the department, but the one I wanted to talk about in particular is a study abroad that goes to Europe. And it's a 3-week-long trip in Europe. We go to Rome and to Florence and to Paris and a couple of places in the Netherlands. Amsterdam, I don't know. There's another, I think we went to Delft. At any rate, if you're interested in that, you need to sign up fairly quickly for that. We have an application process that we can make you aware of. But the reason I'm talking about that right now is there are 2 classes in civil engineering that you'll take if you take that class, and you won't have to take otherwise, and that's 201 and ENGT 231. So if you have not taken those classes yet, if you take the study abroad, you'll get credit for those 2 classes. So if you're in one of those classes right now and you want to do study abroad, drop that class, because if you do study abroad, you'll be taking it over again. So I hope you'll be, they did the trip for the first time this year. It went really great. I know, how many of you in here went on that trip? Have a good time?
Yeah, we did.
It's awesome. So the fee for the trip will cover your tuition for those 2 classes, and then all the travel that's included there. So hope you'll come to that. Myself and Dr. Frankie are going to be the professors that go there, maybe one other. We'll see how that goes. Another thing I wanted to mention just about curriculum. A couple of years ago, the curriculum changed so that students were no longer required to take Engineering 351, which is Introduction to Environmental Engineering. And instead of 351, we now offer an elective class that's called 451, which is an Introduction to Environmental Engineering also, but it's a little bit more oriented to technical things than it was in the past. If you're interested in environmental engineering, that's really kind of the only undergraduate class in environmental engineering. So would encourage you to register for that class. It's only taught once a year in the fall. It's taught right now, so you can do that. Now, yeah, it is really good. But I love the professor. So one of the things another thing I wanted to mention is just a little bit about the seminar. I love your enthusiasm. It's great that you're here and you're excited about things, and it's really good. We have a group of officers that are really good this year and have things well planned out, as you can see. You know, normally at this time of the year, you know, it's not nearly to this point. So I'm really happy with the officers that are doing this, and they're doing a great job. We are going to have, every week when we come to seminar here, a speaker that we've invited in from outside the university, and we want to show them respect when they get here. So please pay attention when they're here. I can tell you, you'd be surprised if you're, whispering to someone up there. I can hear right now. People are talking to each other, right? And when you're up here, you can hear every word that people are saying up there. And it can be pretty disturbing if we invite somebody to come here and we kind of just don't show them respect that they deserve. So I hope that you can do that. We've done well in the past, but I just wanted to remind everyone. The other thing to remind you about is the grading for this class is strictly on the honor system. Nobody's going to check up on you and see if you did what you said you did. You're going to grade yourselves here, and you're going to, go to Learning Suite and, say you finished assignments or whatever. I hope you'll be honest in doing that. One of the things that we do is every week we count the number of people who are here in seminar. And it's really nice when the number we count corresponds to the number of people who say they were here. So I can tell you that I've had, on several occasions, I've had students, after they've graduated and gone and gotten jobs, they'll call me up or come back and be very guilty and say, hey, I lied about some of those things, and I feel really bad about it. I feel like I need to somehow make that forward. I hope you all have that kind of integrity, at least that you'll own up to it. But I hope you have even more integrity and just not, do what you say you're going to do. I guess that's what it comes down to. So those are just some things. I think we have a great semester to look forward to. We want to have an enjoyable time. We want to do things in here that will benefit you. The other thing I want to mention is we're going to have speakers from all sorts of different disciplines in civil engineering. By the time you're a senior, you may have figured out, hey, I want to be a structural engineer, or I want to be water related, whatever. And so when we have a water related speaker come, it's like, oh, I'm not going to be interested in that. That's going to be real boring. Every discipline in civil engineering has something to do with every other discipline. And I hope that you're interested in learning, right? You just want to know. It's civil engineering. Come and learn. If it's not your specific discipline, there's still things to learn here and still really interesting. I was telling students in 451 the other day, or actually yesterday, I guess. I have an undergraduate degree that's not a civil engineering degree. My undergraduate degree is called Environmental Resources Engineering. I never had a structures class. I never had a concrete class. I never had a foundations class or anything. I had all environmental engineering classes in place of those. But I still love coming here and hear what the structural engineers have to say, or a transportation guy. I love to learn. And I hope all of you do too. So please, pay attention, you never know what you'll learn that might be important to you a little bit later on in your career. So let's have a great semester. Thanks for being here.
If any of you ever have a suggestion of someone you want to hear, you can email the BYU ASCE email. We have an ongoing list of people that were suggested or things like that of what we can do. Also, this is the most serious part of today. We're going to roast each other, so I'll turn it over to Seth to start us out.
So we will, but at the same time, on a serious note, the reason that we do these introductions isn't so that we look awesome in front of you guys, but legitimately, we're people just like you. We were in your shoes. If you're in 200 seminar or whatever, we were right there with you. If you're getting a C in chemistry, I'm right there with you. Everybody else isn't, but I was. Anyways, so hopefully by introducing all the officers to you, hopefully there's somebody that, like, if you see them in the hallway or you see them in the class, you can go up and just talk to them. You're like, oh, hey, you're an officer or whatever, and I can start a conversation. Yeah, if they're crying, go give them a hug or whatever. Alright, so here's how this is going to work. Sammy and I are going to trade off kind of introducing people. She's already standing up. This is Sammy Ow. She's our president. She's from the Great Plains of Omaha. There's a reason they're called the Great Plains and not the Lane Plains. She has 5 brothers, and Clyde is the main man. Clyde? Okay, just kidding. Okay, I laughed. That was good. She just interned at Union Pacific. She's also been an intern at Old Castle Materials doing asphalt paving. She was a TA and research assistant, lifeguard, and swim instructor all at the same time. Just kidding. Okay, your favorite quote is "Don't have to do something, fully do it." Ron Swanson. A couple of her some of her hobbies include traveling, swimming, cooking, and sport. She went to Iceland over the summer. So if you're Icelandic, you can talk to her about that. She wants to be like Professor and Mrs. Kim Glade because she's on top of everything. Fun fact, she's been stung by a stingray and lived to tell the tale. Unusual talent is falling asleep in the testing center in almost every test. And her most embarrassing moment is when she was camping, there was a storm that turned into a tornado watch. Everyone was packing up their gear and trying to wake me up, and she slept through it all. That's Sammy Lau. She's already standing up.
This is Seth Barris. He's from West Jordan, Utah. He has 8 siblings, no wife, and no kids out of wedlock. So, good job, Seth. Some of his previous work experience, he's been a janitor at Riverside Elementary. He was a student engineer at BYU Broadcasting. He coached 9th grade basketball at Provo High for a while, and he's currently an intern at the South Valley Sewer District. His favorite quote is, "So you think you can dance?" He loves to beaver trap, juggle, and drink expired milk. He wants to be like President Worthen because he'd run this place. So, fun fact, he doesn't think he can dance, and his unusual talent is he has a lazy eye and he can control his left eye independently of my right.
Proof. Come talk to you.
Okay. And his embarrassing moment was getting a 42 on a Chem 105 final and miraculously finishing with a C. I've been there too.
There's a real camera. And I just realized how much time we have left, so we're going to go pretty dang quick. So we got Richie Todd. We're going to have him stand up at the very end. He's from Leesburg, Virginia. He is married, going on 1 year. Congratulations. The oldest of 5 siblings. He has previous work experience in the construction and structural engineering field. His favorite quote is, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit," from Aristotle. He loves water skiing, boating, snow skiing, any kind of sport, and reading. He wants to be like Professor Jones because he's an Excel wizard. And fun fact, he started on his business with someone with Alec Vandergraaf, renting tandem bikes and other outdoor equipment. An unusual talent, he says he can memorize license plates real fast. And an embarrassing moment is he dressed up as his wife for Halloween and wore a dress last year. Doesn't know what he was thinking. So Richie Todd.
All right, so we have Braxton Miller as our service chair. He's from St. George. He has 2 siblings and he is single, ladies. He works for an engineering consulting firm in construction, and I think he just accepted a full-time offer with them, right? Exciting. And his favorite quote is, "Give 100%, 110 is impossible, only idiots recommend that," by Ron Swanson. And we'll just choose a fun fact, unusual talent. He says he has no talents except barely squeaking by in all my classes. So, Braxton, give it up for Braxton.
Okay, and I apologize, we're not hitting every single one. We've just got to pick a couple. But you can read them and laugh to yourself, I guess. So we got Aubrey Hebden.
She's from Holiday, Utah. She's got 5 siblings, 4 of which are married, 8, soon to be 9 nieces and nephews. She used to work as an intern at Dunn Associates Structural Engineering. She was a research assistant for Dr. Guthrie and TA for statics. She wants to be like Professor Miller because he's always happy and loves what he does. Fun fact, she's been peed on by a tiger. And an embarrassing moment is she booked a plane ticket to the wrong city and didn't realize until she got off the plane.
Next we have our publicist, Skylar from Georgia. She has 6 sisters, no husband, and no kids. Hallelujah. She's worked at Courtyard worked in Courtyard as at Jamestown Assisted Living. Okay, Geohydro Engineers doing broadcasting, and she's now an intern for Provo City. Her favorite quote is, "There are 3 places all on par. One is as good as the other. They are Provo, hell, or Texas. You can take your choice." Her fun fact is, I slept for the first 3 days of my life. My mom had to wake me up every few hours to force me to eat. It was rather unsuccessful at times. She called the doctors, panicked that something was wrong, but really I was just tired. I've been tired ever since. Give it up for Skylar.
Natalie Balga King, who just got married 2 weeks ago. Congratulations. She's from South Utah. She's got 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and like I said, married for 2 weeks. She was a TA for Global Leadership. She worked at the bookstore, and now she works at Acute Engineering still, I think. Favorite quote is, "Doubt your doubts before you doubt your faith." She wants to be like Professor Ames because he seems happy with life. She's really good at Rubik's Cube. Her embarrassing moment is in the MTC. We had a guy come to our bedroom door to tell us they had misinformed us on the time we were leaving to the airport, and we had to get there right then. All of this happened while I was not completely dressed. Natalie Balga King, everybody.
We have Camille. She's from Mesa, Arizona. She has a little brother on the mission, and she worked with ADOP this past summer. So her favorite hobbies are hiking, frisbee, spike ball, puzzles, playing the flute, and doing board games. She wants to be like Dr. Schultz because he's been to China like 1,000 times, and that's like one of her favorite places, from what I understand. Her unusual talent, I can have the tune the Star Spangled Banner on my job. I did not know that. That was really exciting. Fun fact, her favorite snack is a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios and craisins, but it has to be eaten with chopsticks. Give it up for Camille.
Alright, we have for the student engagement officer, he has been married. He is married. But that's Chris Edwards. He's from Warren, Utah. He is the second of 5 kids, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and he's been married for 2 years. Previous work experience is he's a civil engineering internship with BOE Physical Facilities and currently works as a research assistant. His favorite quote is, "Do you have 10 years of experience or 1 year of experience 10 times?" Deep thoughts. He wants to be like Professor Miller because he's a legend. He originally had 3 front teeth. He likes to paint. And his most embarrassing moment is when he got his basketball jersey stuck on his braces. Chris Edwards, everybody.
Alright, Regina is our student liaison. She's from Escondido, California, and Mapleton/Springville. Doesn't seem like where she knows where she's from, because she doesn't. Her dad's American, but her stepmom, mom, and stepdad are Korean, and so she was in a dance group this past year, and she loves Latin dancing especially. She also does water polo, swimming. As you can see, she's a very, very busy girl. Her embarrassing moment is she got stage fright at the doctor's office when she had to pay a cut for a drug screening to get the job. Give it up for Gina.
We got Shane O here, wants to name his first child Chiri and his second child Donan. He is from Salt Lake City, Utah. He's got a family of 2 siblings. He's not married. He used to be a physics TA and used to be a construction intern as well. Favorite quote is, "Just because you can doesn't mean you should." His hobbies include watching movies and playing guitar. Wants to be like Professor Richards because he would be on sabbatical right now. He was born in Malaysia. He's abnormally good at winning sweepstakes, and one time he was in a talent show with his sister when he was 4 doing a little dance with umbrellas. During the dance, she accidentally hit him with her umbrella, and he performed during 2 kids going at each other with umbrellas.
Just wait with us. So we've got our networking specialist, Logan Bennett. He grew up in Sammamish, Washington, but now he lives in Salem. Well, he doesn't live in Salem, but his family's from Salem. He has a twin brother, a younger sister, and he's forever alone. So, his favorite... I didn't put it. I think he put it. He's worked as a research assistant with Dr. Schultz, and he also is a collections officer at a credit union. So not your favorite person, but that's okay. He's moved on. So his favorite quote is, "And now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good." His hobbies are he only loves his bed and his mom, and he's sorry about that. So he wants to be like Frankie because he loves everyone and gets to go to Italy a lot. He did a Spartan race this summer and loved it. And his embarrassing moment was in the 3rd grade, he called in 1,000 times and got on Radio Disney. He thought it was the coolest, but he said he's not. So give it up for Logan.
Okay, we got Dan Costa. He is from Sao Paulo, Brazil. He's got one little sister, 10 years apart, and he's been married for 3 months. Congratulations, Dan. He used to work at Grupo Trocatos. He's also done Earth Tech Engineering, Freeport, I don't even know how to say that, McMorrin? Anyways, his favorite quote is "The things which hurt instruct" from Ben Franklin. He wants to be like Dr. Frankie because he is the man. Up until 12 years ago, he always got confused and wasn't sure if his birthday was on the 3rd or 4th of November. He loves whispering to squirrels. And his most embarrassing moment is when he refused to have breakfast for dinner. On his mission to keep the member was going to feed us just a glass of milk, because that is the typical Brazilian breakfast. Dan Costa. And we have one more. I apologize. I don't know why that's good. Maybe I hit it twice. I don't know. But we got Jordan Kiersey to wrap it up. He's from Netherlands. Previous work experience is 19 years as a slave of the law. He is also John Valjean. His favorite quote is, "I thought love was only true in fairy tales, made for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me. That's the way it seems. Disappointment haunted all my dreams, but then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer." He wants to be like Professor Moriarty because he is Sherlock Holmes' equal intelligence and twice as classy. And fun fact, he was this last summer in Pennsylvania, and he was hired to assassinate bugs. His unusual talent is turning any menial job into a battleground for honor and glory. All right, we got Jordan Kiersey, everybody.
Seminar. We're so excited for this semester. Have a great weekend, everyone.